Please sit down. If you're expecting or hoping for anything very substantial at this moment, I fear you are to be disappointed. If you're hoping for something relatively brief, well, we'll see what we can do. These thoughts take their lead from the Word of God, the Word of Isaiah, the actions and being of John the Baptist, and indeed the words of Arnold from when he stood here a couple of weeks ago. First, well, I'm not sure whether it's a poem or just a piece or a reading, but it's something that I've noticed has been read at all of the carol services led by Dementia Forward here over the last few years. This is their final reading. It is entitled One Solitary Life. Here is a man who was born in an obscure village, the child of a peasant woman. He worked in a carpenter's shop until he was 30, and then for 3 years he was an itinerant preacher. He had no credentials but himself. While still a young man, the tide of public opinion turned against him. His friends, the 12 men who had learned so much from him and had promised him their enduring loyalty, ran away and left him. He went through the mockery of a trial. He was nailed upon a cross between 2 thieves. When he was dead, he was taken down and laid in a borrowed grave through the pity of a friend. Yet, I am well within the mark when I say that all the armies that have ever marched, and all the parliaments that ever sat, and all the kings that ever reigned, put together, have not affected the life of humankind upon this earth as has this one solitary life. And put to that these words, attributed to a Professor Wright, seemingly of Oxford University, in the film about the life of J.R. Tolkien. It's the first meeting between these two when Tolkien is a young student at the university finding his way. If you wish to picture the scene, they are walking along a path through an ancient woodland, and the professor says this: a child points and is taught a word, tree. Later he learns to distinguish this tree from all the others. He learns its particular name. He plays under the tree. He dances around it, stands beneath its branches for shade or shelter. He kisses under it. He sleeps under it. He weds under it. He marches past it on his way to war and limps back past it on his journey home. A king is said to have hidden in this tree. A spirit may dwell within its bark. Its distinctive leaves are carved onto the tombs and monuments of his landlords. Its wood might have built the galleons that saved his ancestors from invasion. And all this, the general and the specific, the national and the personal, all this he knows and feels and summons somehow, however faintly, with the utterance of a single sound. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to hum. It's not a loud sound, a hum, but we'll see what we can do. You may very well need to breathe, at which point you'll probably need to pause in your humming. That's fine. Feel free to pick it up again after a breath. If you wish to harmonize with those around you, feel free. But essentially, I invite you simply, after 3, to hum. So, after 3, 1, 2, 3. And stop. I could see the slight panic in your eyes. Something only very slightly different now. In a moment, please hum, but only if your name begins with the letter A. Seems a good place to start. And I'm pretty convinced there's at least one person in the room to whom that applies. I'll count you in. So if your name, surname or Christian name begins with the letter A, please start the humming. Then please join in as and when you hear somebody else humming. They may be near or far. That entirely depends upon the level of your hearing. And we will see where we end up. So, if your name begins with the letter A, please start the hum and please join in as and when you hear another person. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. I think you should give yourselves a harmonious round of applause. That was beautiful. How quickly it spreads. The utterance of a single sound, a single word from a single unique life. We should never underestimate the power of one. And that includes you. What would be, or what will be, your word? To bring back so much to heart and mind and the world of all that is general and specific, of all that is national and personal. What would be your one word? Might it be God? Might it even be Jesus, being unafraid to say his name? He who knows each of us by name and calls us each by name. One word. Just one word. One word which utters faith. That's all we need on this Christmas day. And let's see what we can do. Merry Christmas. God bless.